Alright everybody, let's continue with another practice problem. This one sounds interesting. To lowercase 709. Implement function to lowercase that has a string parameter string and returns the same string in lowercase. Well, I mean, I don't think this is going to be something interesting. It is like Python to lowercase, right? Is up is all lower, something like lower. Lower, by the law is a building. Lowercase string from a given string and converts all uppercase characters to lowercase. Well, maybe are there interesting constraints? There are no constraints. Let's quickly solve this one and move on to the other one. So if our string is equal to an empty string, return an empty string. Else return lower out of string. What are our examples? Something like this. I don't even think this is necessary, honestly. It is not defined. Interesting. String lower. Okay, it's a built-in function into the string object. That's nice. Okay, let's have a empty one. Let's have a 9 Brooklyn. Was it Brooklyn 99? Let's run the code. Let's see outputs. You can actually kind of test and use this approach here to kind of see how they are expecting your output to look like, because now I can actually see what are they expecting for Brooklyn 99. So for example, when I combine integers or when I just have an empty string. So the expected one was empty string for the second one, and for the third one, yeah, I guess this is more or less done. I would assume you could even just do this, and that's why, yeah, this is not a real problem. It's just a single function call, right? Yes and yes. Let's just submit it and let's go to the next one. Okay. Maximum 69 number. 1323, maximum 69 number. Given a positive integer number consisting only of digits 6 and 9. Return the maximum number you can get by changing at most one digit. 6 becomes 9, 9 becomes 6. Given a possible integer consisting only of digits 6 and 9, for example, return the maximum number you can get by changing at most, so either none or at most one digit. This is more of a mathematical thing, right? I don't think changing a 9 to 6 would ever net you a higher number. Our constraints are the numbers are in this given range. Nums digits are either 6 or 9, and yeah, it's just a mathematical approach. Let's say we have 6 9 6 9. It doesn't make any sense to change this to this, because it is then a lower number. This would also be a lower number. So basically our task here is just to find the first 6, the very first 6 going from left to right, because this and of course change that to a 9, right? This is greater than this. So our, let's just quickly, maximum, I think if I change, yeah, maximum number. So yeah, first 6 has to be changed to 9. Well, it's a very easy. Let's return and let's try a list comprehension right away. We already we have our num as int, so we first have to convert for character in string out of our num. For each character, well, actually I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't use list comprehensions. I would basically write our if else statement in the return, and you can do that in Python. So for character in string from num, return okay, we need a way to return the first. Well, I wouldn't bother doing it like this. I would just go for char in string out of num if char equals 6. And the first one, that's why you would definitely want in enumerate. So for index char in enumerate our string num, if the character is 6, we would have our string out of num on the index would be a 9, and well, oops, sorry, it's a weird syntax. Actually, just have it string num as string. Let's just save our num as a string object so we can manipulate it, and then it would be easier to kind of like do operations on it and return it in the end. So we are just enumerating our object, which is num as string. If char is 6, num as string equals index equals a 9, and we are returning num as string as a you're returning an int. Okay, so we're casting it to an int, and yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. Could you do this in a single return fashion? Interesting. I have never seen this error. You mean to tell me I cannot access? Reassign string index. Changing one character string. Yeah, you can. Why not? So def string index char and enumerate string. Let's just print. Oh, I wouldn't even think I could. Oh no, I cannot use the debugger now. Print int and let's return a 0. Just a quick debugging. So yeah, in our test case we have 9, 6, the first 6, and this is basically that's a weird one. Why wouldn't it want int out of num as string? So I'm thinking there is nothing unusual in this type of syntax. String object does not support item assignment. Let's just Google it, I guess. Does not support item assignment, which is so weird. Strings are immutable, so you can change the characters in place. You can, however, do the following. String was so you basically you cannot change a string in Python. Wow, okay. I don't want to create a new string though. But you can of course do something like my string list blah blah. You can literally put it in a list. Well, I think this is the thing that I'll be using because it is kind of like I don't really have to double in creating temporary strings and all that. So we are having a list of characters. Hopefully, yeah, it should be in a list basically for each character, I guess, or maybe not. Let's see. List out of string 1, I guess. Okay, sure. It's a weird syntax, but I'll use it. Something Python should really improve on. So we are getting a list, we are enumerating and iterating over it, and for each character we check if it's a 9, then we would basically be changing this, and then we will be having a empty string joining our end result, and then we will be converting it to int. I don't like it, but I guess that's Python sometimes for you, right? Let's quickly go over what happens here. We have a num which is in the form of int, and probably you still have to convert it into a string or a list type interpreted object before you can actually pack it into a list. So you will have each character inside that list separated and in string form. Then you can iterate over all those characters, and for the first one that you see that has a 6, you will be replacing that one with a 9, and you will be immediately returning that resulting string in the array. But in order to do that, well, actually, yeah, I don't think you could. Well, there are probably other ways to unpack an array into a single string, but I think this is actually not a bad idea in this case. So once you have all the characters into the array, including the modified one, you can basically have an empty string and join based on what's in the array, and it will create you basically the same string as given in this example. So we have a string, we modified it, and when we join, we get the modified string, right? It's very hacky, but yeah, I guess it works for now. And then you just return it as an int, and you should be good to go. Let's try another one. Let's try 9996. I mean, I don't see any reason why it shouldn't work. All digits are 6s or 9s. We don't get, this is again the length of num. Yeah, we wouldn't have to handle an empty num, or like, yeah, like nothing, like a non-object. Let's also do the 4 9s, and I think this should be it. So what's my lesson here? I was thinking I could basically do some solution that only returns a single, basically returns the whole result in a single line packed into the return statement, maybe combined with a loop over the object, and if the condition is true, I would basically grab all the information that's needed and return it like that. But it turns out Python is not that friendly when it comes to working with strings. Maybe there are other options, maybe there are even like libraries that will allow you to work better with strings. Might be worth looking for that. That's weird, right? Yeah, well, it's not weird. So we are only returning in the case where our so that's something for people to actually pay attention to and try not to do. You shouldn't really return, or if you're only returning, if you're returning inside an if statement, you should always keep an eye on what happens on the most basic level, right? Because in this case there was nothing happening in case you're not replacing a 6. So in our case, I would just break after the first 6. So this whole loop would stop after the first 6 has been changed, and then I would just return our result on the global level. I think this should fix our issue, and this should also probably be the only thing that's left. Yeah, we got the 999. If we had a 6666, we should basically be getting a single 6, the first 6 converted to 9, and everything else left to 6s. And we have it, and they expect exactly that. So let's just commit this one. I think it was not, it seemed like a way easier approach than, well, in the end it was still easy, but it was a bit finicky when it comes to, yeah, you are expecting things to behave very standard when it comes to basic or primitive structures, but it turns out, yeah, you can always get surprised even in Python. So yeah, I think that was it for this video. I hope you learned something, and I hope it was useful.